Welcome to Take a Look. We'll do just that as Zendaya serves it in Challengers. She smashes the sports mold as she aces this grand slam about the game of love and tennis. And I'm out of tennis metaphors, so let's move on to Boy Kills World. It's snarkishly snappy and oh so violent. If you thought Bill Skarsgård was fierce in it, you ain't seen nothing yet. Hey, speaking of fierce, try getting between a tiger mom and her kittens. Disney Nature's Tiger is a masterpiece. You'll know why after we catch up with the Tigers and catch up with the creators to Take a Look. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just talking to my mom. Hey, this is Take a Look. You're here exactly on time because we're about to do this. It's a show where we talk about all things streaming, whether it's on small screens, big screens, theaters, sports, food. What else have I left out? Streaming television and movies. Forget about it. I've been rambling enough now. Let's get it over here to comedian Steph Sanders. Hey, man.
What's up?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be seen.
You know him. You love him. Appearing at the Punchline in Philly. Coming up. Check your local listings. In the meantime, what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about everything. Disney, Boy Kills World, Zendaya, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Zendaya.
All of that coming up. Not necessarily in that order. In fact, let's get right to Boy Kills World. This is the most violent movie you are ever going to see, so be warned right now. Don't complain. I took my kids. They're terrified. We've got counseling going on. I'm warning you right now, it might be the most graphic movie ever made.
Yo, this reminds me of like Kill Bill times 20. Tarantino, it looks like a Tarantino movie. I had to watch it with one eye open, but I love it because I like his inner voice.
Yeah, speaking of Kill Bill, Bill Skarsgård is amazing in it. His inner voice is the voice of Bob from Bob's Burgers. We talked about that, and we talked about all the blood and expenses. Take a look.
It's so hard to create something new, but this is bananas new.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So let's walk people through it. Boy is someone who cannot speak, cannot hear. Something horrific has happened to his family. Now he must avenge them. Has no voice, so that's provided in a dialogue track that essentially is the video game he was just watching. In this case, voiced by the guy from Bob's Burgers, Bob. Help me go from here.
Well, that's basically it, right? And now he has to take revenge.
I made a 3-step plan. Step 1, give myself an inner voice. I took the last one I remembered from this video game. Player 1 wins. Step 2, get stronger. A lot stronger. And step 3, join a team.
So I guess that wraps it up.
We need to work as a team here.
Team? I've never been on a team.
We knew it. We knew it. We knew it.
Yeah, what did we know?
He wants you. Have you seen it, right?
Yeah.
You seen the movie?
Can't you see the traumatized look in my face?
Yes, yes. And we know that you want to see a sequel.
Yeah.
What's entirely true is that I want to see 2 sequels, maybe 3 sequels.
Nice. That's smart.
The thing is, I think there will be a stage blood shortage before you get to sequel number 2.
That could be a problem.
It got a little slippery out there.
Yeah.
And for you, how do you describe it to friends and family going, what are you working on right now?
Go ahead.
Yeah, wild. It's a wild, crazy world with very fun, over-the-top characters where we're just constantly hearing, in fact, people knocking on our door actually to make a sequel.
Yeah,
we never bring it up, and then we're just like, guys, relax.
It just comes up. People say like, don't you want to see that in that crazy and zany world again? Is what they're, and I'm like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you?
Mark?
No, I mean, that's the first thing I thought. I can't wait to see this again. And then I thought, and I can't wait to see the sequel.
Yes,
and the sequel
Mark.
to the sequel.
Yeah. There we go.
Thank you.
They're all gonna watch and cheer as you die.
Because?
Because it's a wild, crazy ride.
Because we're in it and we're fantastic.
Amazing.
And, we deliver once again.
Why wouldn't you?
Yes, we always deliver, and this is no exception.
Oh my God, no! I have information. I'm gonna help you. Stop!
Even looking at that kind of re-traumatizes me about the movie.
The dude is weird. Every time I love him, but you look at him, I just see it. I see what he was in.
You talking about Bill Skarsgård?
Yes.
There's something about the eyes.
Yes.
Even all the prosthetics of it, you still saw that,
still
and in
see
this,
it.
you do see it.
Yeah.
Inner
Who would be
voice.
your inner voice?
I was going to ask you inner voice. My inner voice, I would want Sam L. Jackson, and I'll tell you why. Because if Sam L. Jackson is going to be the voice for all your narrative, right? You have the excuse to drop MF into anything. Ordering McDonald's, MF can fly out anywhere.
Church sermons, anything.
Yeah, picking up the kids from school. How about you?
Mine would be definitely Morgan Freeman.
Oh, voice of
the
God.
Voice of God.
Yeah.
The voice of Electric Company.
Good call.
Come on, Morgan Freeman.
And good throwback. Kids, Google Electric Company. All right, coming up in just a little bit, you mentioned it, Zendaya. This is a movie that is a game changer for an actress that's already had many game-changing roles. This one kicks it up at a level. We'll tell you all about it. She joins us along with Sean Edwards next. Oh, hey, welcome back. It is Take a Look. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure and like and subscribe. If you're watching elsewhere, just look in the mirror and say, I like you to yourself. That's comedian Steph Sanders. I'm Mark S. Allen. Right now, we want to talk about the movie that, since the moment we saw it, since the dust settled, we've been talking about nothing but challengers.
Oh, my God.
In a word.
Zendaya.
Absolutely. Game-changing. For more on it, he is one of our fearless leaders at the Broadcast Film Critics Association, now called the Critics' Choice. He is Sean Edwards, the pride of KC. Sean, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What's up? What's up? Nah, man, we got my man Steph in the house.
What's up?
I always wanted to be a comedian. I always wanted to be a comedian. I'm funny sometimes.
I always
Not
say
all
that.
the
Eight
time.
people say that. That's all right.
You're versatile, my friend. Let's talk about challengers. We knew this was going to be game-changing, and indeed it is for Zendaya. Talk about how it boosts her up even more so.
Oh man, Zendaya's had a really long career, although she's only just in her 20s. But people primarily know her from her younger days and from the role she won an Emmy for, which was in Euphoria, in which she played a teenager in high school. Now she's stepped up into the big leagues. She's not playing in the minor leagues anymore. Challengers is a very adult film dealing with some very adult themes at a very adult level. And at the center of it all is Zendaya, who is just killing it in this role. She is no longer little Z. She's capital Z because she handles it very well. She's now a grown A woman, and she did her thing.
Absolutely, and I know you and I have had a chance to talk to her through the years. I loved your chat with this, acknowledging how deep this movie was. Take a look.
What's the first time each of you actually picked up a tennis racket?
Must have been when I was little because my grandmother loves tennis. But I went to tennis camp with my grandmother for a week when I was 7, and retained nothing.
My best friend in the whole world, who I've been best friends with since I was 11, loved tennis. And I used to play him every now and then. Probably played him twice because he realised that he needed someone better to play with. But that was probably my first time, and I remember
Every now and then.
it's
Twice.
Yeah, twice. And I remember when Luca asked me to do this film, and he was like, "Do you play tennis?" I haven't told you this.
Did you lie?
And I was I promise you, I wasn't.
Yes.
He was like, "No, absolutely."
No, but here and there.
You say here and there.
Every now and then I do. I was like, every now and then I do. Yeah. So then I realized, oh no, that was when I was 12.
I think probably the first time was physical education, in middle school.
What school did you go to? What school did you go to
good.
where you did tennis in gym class?
Right.
You did kickball and...
Oh yes, there's those.
My PE was run around the block. Okay.
I do want to find out from each of you. I did love the adult themes of the movie because you rarely get to see that. How excited did that make you feel that you finally got a script where you could take it there?
Well, I mean, listen, the script was brilliant. I think Justin Kuritzky's is so talented, and there was already clearly so much to work with there. I think it's always a joy to be able to work with characters that are nuanced and complex and messy and confusing. And the fact that this film was, it's hard to define. When people ask me, what kind of film is it? I don't really know if I can give you an answer. And that's really special. It's funny, but it's not a comedy. It's got sports, but it's not a sports movie. And it's dramatic, and there's pain and grief and loss, all these, very complicated human emotions, but it's not like a drama, so it's hard to define, and I think Luca really put all of that together in a beautiful way.
Oh, man. I love, Sean, we were just talking about the fact that your interview kind of operated on many different layers, much like the movie.
Yeah, you know the thing that I really love about this, and I think Zendaya really touched on it. Challengers is not a sports movie, but they did have to master the sport of tennis to make it believable because they're all professional tennis players. And that's what I like. I like that it's not so heavy leaning toward one specific genre, but you get a mix of things. But this movie, after you finish watching, it will make you re-examine the relationship you're in if you're actually in one, whether you're just dating or you're married or you're out there on an app looking to find love. This movie is going to change that up. It's going to make you stop and think, and you're going to re-examine everything that happens in this relationship process.
Wow. Hey, Sean, tell me, for all of us that have seen it, for those that have not, give me one sentence. See this movie because...
See this movie because Zendaya gets to play a character that represents women in a completely different way that you haven't seen before because the performance is strong, it's bold, it's authentic, and she's bringing it.
Strong. That's why we get you on the show, Sean. That's why we get you on the show.
Hey, I'm a comedian, but you got to interview Zendaya.
That's what we're talking about.
Hey, you know the one thing people ask me about interviewing people all the time is not whether they were cool or how tall they are, it's how well that they smell. And whatever fragrance Zendaya was wearing, it stuck with me for the next 3 days. That's how great it was.
It's called Zendaya. That's what it's called.
I could be on. Let's be honest. It could be either of the dudes on either side. You never know. Sean Edwards finding.
No, it was no. It was all Z. Trust me.
Right.
It was not Mike or Josh. I don't even know if Mike or Josh showered. Right. It was all Z.
Forget them.
Fantastic. The pride of Kansas City, Sean Edwards, one of the board of directors of the Critics' Choice. We salute you. We thanks for having you on. Sean Edwards KC on Instagram. Sean Edwards, thanks for hanging out.
Steph. Thanks, Mark.
He got to smell Zendaya's room. I got to smell tigers. Coming up in a moment, Disney Nature takes it to the next level. We'll tell you why you need to see this scene. You think Zendaya gets fierce when you come between her and her two dudes? Try to get between a mom and her cubs. We'll talk about that next. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. I'm Marcus Allen. That's Steph Sanders. Now we want to talk about what's new on Disney. Specifically, Disney Nature brings you Tiger. Now, I don't know about you. You're younger than I, but when I was a kid, we had like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. And it was all this one guy saying, and now my partner's going to get eaten by a snake.
Right.
This is way different. No people. They get those cameras in there. Ridiculous places. What'd you think?
I love this. I love all things Disney, but I love nature and I love animals. Who I wouldn't want to be was a photographer in this, but I love the fact that he got so close and personal. I love it.
Yeah, I got a chance to catch up with Mark and Vanessa, the directors, to talk about how they got those cameras all those places. Look.
All right, so for each of you, I want to talk about if we were to queue up one moment of this movie, 1 minute, one moment that for the rest of your lives will ring true for you. I want to know for each of you, and then I'll tell you the moment for me. Go.
It would probably be when Shankar kills a sloth bear and gifts it to Amber like a big box of chocolates or a bunch of flowers. Love gift. For me, that was amazing.
I think for me, it's the moment when you first meet her cubs and just to see those 4 incredible little characters reveal for the first time, all with their personality.
Oh, am I allowed a second one? I want the frogs jumping on the back of the
Oh my God! I can't believe you did that! Because that's the last thing I thought you were going to say, but that's my favorite moment.
Isn't it amazing?
Like, at what point were you in production when you realized that there is a world where frogs hang out on top of tigers eating flies all day?
And isn't it smart? Because lots of the things that eat frogs are scared of tigers. So they've got the safest place to die.
It's a genius place.
It's a genius, absolute genius. Frogs are smarter than you realized.
Yeah. So in the narrative of this movie, you say there's only one thing that enters and exits a tiger's den alive, and that's a tiger. Then moments later, there's a camera in there, which means somebody who sets the camera, who draws the short straw.
Exactly.
Hey, guess what you're going to do today?
Yeah. No flies on you.
Man, it is so awesome. Documentary, sure, but as entertaining as any movie that we're going to talk about today. How'd you like to show up for work? Hey, man, what am I doing today? Oh, you know the cave, the camera? That's you.
You got to sneak in.
Exactly.
I don't want that job either.
Exactly.
Ooh, frogs were geniuses.
No, you know the frog, and again, okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up with that. See this movie because you're going to learn that frogs hang out on the backs of tigers because that's where the good flies are.
That's crazy.
How about you? See this movie because?
See this movie because it is the best movie I've seen about tigers, period. Live and in person, besides Lion King.
Yeah,
that's lions.
Amen
That's
to that. All right, now want to be inspired? Unsung Heroes will do exactly that. If you're a fan of the music group King Plus Country, this is the true story of that family and how they got from Australia to Nashville. It's a remarkable journey. I caught up with Candace Cameron Bure, who you probably know from Full House, DJ, right?
Love her. Yes.
To talk about the true inspiration. Look.
Hey, so nice to talk to you. I can't begin to tell you how much I love this movie, and specifically because it's a movie that makes the world a better place.
Thank you. I'm so glad you did. I'm so proud of this movie. It's such an inspiring and hopeful story. I love that it's about family and the togetherness that they had through the struggles. And this, you know, my company, Candy Rock Entertainment, produced this movie, and this is the type of content and entertainment that I've strived throughout my career to continue to bring to people in the world.
Bringing real people to life. It's exciting and can be daunting too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I played a very real person. I played Kate Albright in the film, and she was a community member, a church friend that helped them get back on their feet. And I got to meet Kay. She was on set while we were filming. And yeah, a little daunting because you want to make sure that you're doing a real live person proud in portraying them in a film. And she's such a lovely person, so funny, so bubbly, and so positive.
DJ, all grown up and doing amazing work, unsung hero, truly inspirational. You know, they call these movies inspirational films, right?
Yeah.
And it is. It's going to do exactly that. If you're having a tough time with anything, need some inspiration, it's going to do that.
Great movie about faith. As a comedian, and when I was once broke, I know about faith. And so this movie is a feel-good movie everybody should see. Whether you like country music or not, this is a great, fantastic movie.
Oh, wow, we got to do a script. We got to write the Steph Sanders story. That's inspiring me right there. Coming up in a moment, next week, it's going to be all about Ryan Gosling and Fall Guys, so we'll take a look back at The Nice Guys, why you need to see this movie, and why it's doing so well right now on Apple TV. That more when we come back. We'll take a look. Hope you're having a good one. This is Take a Look, where we've taken a look at everything so you don't have to, and we're just talking about the good stuff. Next week, a half hour dedicated to the Fall Guy because we're both looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Got to see it. Got to see the Fall Guy. Lee Majors. Hey, this is great. Okay.
Good,
Ryan Gosling does his thing.
Good throwback. And does he or does he not have a cameo in Fall Guy? That's for next week. In the meantime, let's take a look at Ryan Gosling. Let's jump back a few years because right now at number 7 on Apple TV Plus, it's The Nice Guys. So why not break open this movie again?
Love this movie, man. This movie reminded me when Burt Reynolds was the baddest dude on the planet. That's what Russell Crowe did in this movie for me.
It's absolutely a great snapshot of that Burt Reynolds era. I had a chance to talk with him and about his younger co-star. Take a look.
You beat people up and charge money?
Yeah, sad, isn't it?
How much would you charge to beat up my friend Janet?
What? How much you got?
$20?
That's good. This conversation is over. I always feel underdressed around you.
Please, you're always dressed up. Like you're more
I'm always
appropriate.
underdressed next to you.
But you look,
Always.
you dressed for the room. You look good for the room.
I did take a look at the room and then
You look good. Well, that's my time. Good to see you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice work in this.
Thank you.
It's one of those movies, 5 minutes into it, once you start to get the rhythm, maybe 15 minutes into it, when you and Russell start to dialogue back and forth, instantly you say to yourself, they got to make more of these movies. I got to see more of this. I don't want this movie to end.
There's mermaids, there's a tree man, you know. It's a wild ride.
Did the making of this movie, reading the script, or even going through some of the scenes and the motions, did it ever make you question the kind of parent you want to be someday? Did you learn from your character's mistakes?
I tried to. He's a pretty awful detective and a terrible father.
Well, I don't know. He's immersive. Like, you want to learn about the world, this dad's going to get you prepared for it.
Right. It kind of reminded me of Inspector Gadget. I don't know if you grew up on that show, but...
What correlation could you possibly make?
Well, isn't like Penny, his daughter, she's really the detective, and he's kind of just like a schmuck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my reference.
Nice. Yeah, I get that completely. This young actress you worked with is amazing. I don't want to say she steals the show, but she certainly holds her own.
She stole it. She stole it. We tried to edit her performance so that she wasn't as good, but you just couldn't do it.
You're that guy?
Yeah.
Watching the dailies going, no,
No.
too good.
Too good.
She shined.
Don't cut to her. There was that whole aspect of the story. I didn't know how I was going to play it or do it. And then she came into the audition room, and it's one of those great moments where, you know, another actor just kind of gives you all the answers.
Well, I'd like to see the trifecta again.
Thank you.
Sequel the shit out of this.
I am shocked that they don't have a sequel to that. It's such a good movie. And like I said, it's number 7 right now on Apple TV+. And we spent a lot of that interview talking about his younger co-star, Anjali. I told him that she's going to crush it. She's going to blow up.
And she's crushing it, blew up, and doing new Mean Girls right now.
Oh, that's right.
Killing it.
She's the Lindsay Lohan part in the new Mean Girls right now.
That's right. Make me forget about Lindsay Lohan.
Did you have a thing for Lindsay Lohan back in the day?
I like a little mean attitude, you know.
Got it.
Kind of had that edge to her.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate show. Speaking of whole separate shows, next week, an entire show dedicated to the Fall Guy. Not only do we have Emily Blunt, we have Ryan Gosling, we have the entire stunt department. We're going behind the scenes and deeper than any other show called Take a Look. This will be the most take-a-lookest show ever, right?
I love it. I can't wait. I'm excited.
All right, comedian Steph Sanders, back east at the Punchline coming up. Check local listings. Where do we find you online?
I am Steph Sanders everywhere. I am Steph, S-T-E-P-H, Sanders everywhere.
There you go. Next week, take a look as we go behind the scenes of the Fall Guy. I've said that enough, but don't forget about it because you got a whole week. Steph, thanks for hanging out.